Well, this morning we are following new details about the apparent attempt to assassinate former President Donald Trump. The suspect, Ryan Routh, is now facing 2 federal charges, and more could follow. He was spotted Sunday with a rifle muzzle sticking out of a fence at the edge of the Florida golf course where the former president was golfing. The Secret Service says the suspect never fired any shots or had a line of sight on Trump. Yesterday on America Decides, Congressman Jason Crow, who's a member of a bipartisan task force investigating the July assassination attempt on the former president, discussed the growing need for resources within the Secret Service.
The Secret Service is telling us very clearly that they are overwhelmed, that they're being asked to do things that they don't have the resources right now to do the extent to which they need to.
And the former president returns to the campaign trail today. He'll head to Flint, Michigan for a town hall this evening. Trump is blaming Vice President Kamala Harris and Democrats for the apparent assassination attempt, saying their rhetoric is to blame. His running mate, J.D. Vance, echoed that during a campaign event in Georgia yesterday.
You know, the big difference between conservatives and liberals is that no one has tried to kill Kamala Harris in the last couple of months, and 2 people now have tried to kill Donald Trump in the last couple of months. I'd say that's pretty strong evidence that the left needs to tone down the rhetoric and needs to cut this crap out.
Well, CBS News campaign reporter Jake Rosen is joining me now with the latest on the Trump campaign. So we got a town hall coming up in Michigan. I guess, can we expect the former president to sort of continue along the lines of some of the messaging that we just heard?
Well, Anne-Marie, this is Donald Trump's first public appearance. We saw the Twitter Spaces last night in which Donald Trump addressed kind of the broader arch of what happened to him on Sunday. We saw a Washington Post opinion column come out this morning with another interview, but we have not heard from Donald Trump on camera yet about exactly what happened to him. You'll remember back to the RNC where Donald Trump spoke extensively at length in detail about what happened to him in Butler, Pennsylvania. We'll see if it's something like that tonight. The discussion will be moderated by Sarah Huckabee Sanders, so it's a bit of a friendly moderator who may ask some of those questions or may not, and let Donald Trump just address it himself and move on to the issues. This will be Donald Trump's 11th stop in Michigan this campaign cycle.
Meantime, J.D. Vance also making a stop in Michigan and Wisconsin. He's been pretty busy. He's been asked about those remarks about Haitian immigrants, and, he has not backed away from them and even sort of suggested on CNN that, hey, listen, if I have to kind of make stuff up to get people's attention, the media's attention, so be it. What sort of messaging have we been hearing from him, and can we expect kind of more of the same?
Well, we saw him kind of parrot what his running mate Donald Trump said on the debate stage and defend him repeatedly last week and on the Sunday shows a couple days ago. We'll see whether he takes the same stance in attacking, like you just saw, what exactly happened on Sunday and whether he really doubles down on both of those fronts. We'll have to see. They've used J.D. Vance as a policy attack dog to go after the Biden-Harris administration repeatedly over the last couple of months, especially in states like Wisconsin and Michigan, where he'll be today. We'll see exactly whether he specifically brings up Springfield and specifically brings up Sunday's assassination attempt when he talks later today.
Yeah. Jake Rosen, thank you very much.